Hello, everyone, and as always, welcome back to Strategy Gaming Dojo, where we find, learn, and play one more turn of the great strategy games. Today, back into Gary Grigsby's War in the East 2, our continuing battle against the Soviet Bear. Hello, everybody. It's Friday. That's always a good thing, and that big corporation that dumps money into my account from time to time has kept me busy all week, so I had to miss yesterday. I apologize. Usually there's always a good reason for that, and I try to put it on Discord. As a matter of fact, I sometimes forget to mention Discord. We do have a good Discord channel. A lot of people on there and people that can answer your questions. It's not just me. There's obviously people out there that know as much, if not more, about this game than I do, and they are there and can answer questions if you have questions. So I should always put that link down at the bottom. I mean, that's not to make money or you don't make money off Discord. Or it's really just for you. If you want to ask a question or have some kind of question about the game, there are people that can answer it. Hey everyone, what's going on? Now, I have to say thank you for the contributions to the Monocle Fund. Uh, it had my wife looking for monocles on Amazon last night. She's like, "Seriously, you're going to get a monocle?" I said, "Well, yeah, I am. Yeah, I am. Let's do it. We're gonna. I said I need to look at this board a little closer and see what's going on out there. As you guys have rightly pointed out, at times I've missed a few things on the board, and so yeah, maybe the monocle will help. We shall see. Hello, John Chappell, Battling Geezers here. Malcolm Hunt, David Bartello, David Marchant. Hello, one and all. McCall F. Martin of Irons here. Hey, it's good crew. Anthony Watson, CJ, Buttsar, Effect. Yeah, I know. I hate having a regular job too. You know, that monocle fund, that's not going to put the food on the table. So, not that I do not expect it. I'm not one of these streamers that's trying to get rich. Believe me, you have to have a lot more than 4,000 subscribers or 40,000 subscribers to do this full time. Let me tell you. That being said, I enjoy this every day. That's why I do it. I just wanted people to enjoy these games. They're great. Um, hey, Erzbeck, what's up? How you doing? Okay, so this time, what are we going to do? We're going to go back around the map before we turn the turn. We're going to do those kind of end of turn things. Make sure we're where we want to be set up. Now, one thing I wanted to do is up in this proposed pocket that we have way down south by Stelino and Rostov. I think we can set that up a little bit better. We still have some movement points. I was staring at this before the episode, and we have some things I think we can do to make it a little better. But let's start down here across the Kirch. Now this has turned into not how I had, well, I guess I had dreamt about. I assumed the Soviets would come with something. They've actually come with quite a bit of strength. They've got a guards unit down here. They've got a tank corps. So they're not playing around. They saw the danger. There's 10 points right there. If we look at the, oh, I hit the wrong one. You got to be on map info and hit the flag. There we go. Krasnodar, and we see the bonus points slipping away. The most you can get in bonus points is 6. That's if you get it, historically before the Germans did, or the Axis. I always say Germans Axis. You know what the hell I'm talking about. Uh, it starts at +6. Now it's counting down because the Axis actually got this in, I believe, September. Well, late August, September of 42, and so they're kind of slipping beyond our grasp because we have nothing but Romanians here. Now we've run a bunch of Romanians to help, but how many Romanians does it take to screw in a light bulb? A lot, a lot. Once you're across the Kerch. No offense to our Romanian friends, they fought their hearts out. As people have said in the comments, the Germans looked at them as cannon fodder and treated them as such. They didn't give them the artillery or the more advanced weapons. So I'm not, when I say, when I put down the Romanians and the Hungarians, it's not a personal thing. They're just not as good as the Germans. There's all kinds of reasons for that. Okay. Uh, so I just had to get that disclaimer in. I don't want the Romanian consulate to to get a hold of me and give me some facts about the Romanians and how hard they fought. They were men thrown out here. They probably fought harder than many of us would have in similar circumstances. Anyway, the point is down here. I'm not sure there's a whole lot we can do. We now have this fort. We now have this port here, and so that is actually giving us some freight and keeping these guys in freight. There's no way for me to link right here. Luckily, they're not isolated, right? But they're up against a lot of strength now, and the Soviet troops are just a little bit better than the Romanians at this point. So we probably have reached our end of doing this with Romanians. Eventually, we're going to have to get Germans down here if we want to take these towns at all. All right, so there's not a whole lot to do down here. I think it's as good as we're going to get it. I guess that's the way to put it. We could move this headquarters, but I don't want to. I mean, I guess if that gets blown out of here, the headquarters is going to go flying as well. But on the off chance that it stays here, I would at least like these guys in command because it helps them pass certain administrative roles, which could help them get freight here regardless if he's over here. It kind of doesn't make sense. It's an abstraction. Just think of it that way. We've got troops here. They're ready to cross over. Again, I mean, this is ground to a screeching halt. Okay, moving on. Down here, we've got, Romanians that have moved out a little bit as we try to scrunch this in. Now, I will say, and people brought up in the comments, and it's absolutely true, until we take this port, this is not isolated. It's not isolated because they can get freight into that port, right? We've taken this port, but they hold this one so that, they could ferry things across the sea here and get freight. One thing I would say is, obviously in these games, might it be possible? I'm sorry. Sometimes I get over here and read the comments. You guys may find that hard to believe, but I do. Might it be possible to shift the three divisions so that one or two push to that port, the one down to the southeast, Butts? I'm just going to call you Butts. This one right here. I think he could actually get here so that we have two ports. That's actually, well, I don't think he can get past that zone of control. This division gets here with 2 movement points left. This one gets here with 3. Now we would block them here, right? And then we would have another port here. I see what you're saying because, having 2 ports over here is better than one or none, certainly. We could back this off or we could bring this down. Let's do that. Okay. All right. I'm with you. Yeah, we just captured it. Good idea, Butts. Okay, and then we'll scoot him back, get him in the port. I don't think that hurts anything else we have going on. Now he is 6 of 5, so he's no longer in command. I could scoot this. I could scoot the command up. Now they're all in command. Okay, let's roll with it that way. I like that idea. Let's get into another port if we can. No problems there. Okay, good idea. Now, where was I? Gosh, I'm sure I was about to say something profound. Oh, the basic idea is this. They're not isolated as long as they still control a port. However, how much freight could they conceivably get into that port? I don't know, 200 tons of freight? Probably not. Maybe 100 tons of freight. That's going to cause a lot of these units, if they're even though they're not isolated, it's going to cause them to start to degrade because they're not going to get certainly. They're not probably going to get 75 or 50% of their freight for this turn. Uh, yes, fortune favors the bold indeed. What's up, Anthony? I feel like I missed something. Somebody said, get better, Anthony. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry to hear that. Well, get better, my friend. Get better. We need you on the general staff. Certainly, I need all the help I can get, and you are a tremendous help every day. Um, so these guys will not be isolated because of the port. But if we can degrade their ability to get freight, it will wear them down a little bit. And then next turn, hopefully, we can run down and get this port, and they'll truly be isolated. The problem is, I'm not sure that we can get them isolated even on this ring where we stand right now. So we got to do something about that. Now, I hate to break up panzer divisions if we don't have to. Now this Panzer division could actually get close. It's got a lot of movement points, right? Let's actually move this. Okay, it would still have 34 here. Let's move that and see what we're dealing with. Okay, I don't want to attack with panzers there, but it's good to know, and we could potentially split this next time and get it down here, or take all of it down here. I just wanted to take a step forward and see what we have. We've got a double stack. I don't want to blindly attack a double stack with a full Panzer division. You may end up losing 30 or 40 Panzers. And I know people yell at me in the comments, quit babying your Panzers. And I understand that. I mean, at some point you got to go forward. But we're in a pretty good shape here, and I don't want to do anything reckless. Listen to me. I'm a really reckless guy. No, I don't want to do anything reckless if I don't have to. Um, Okay, that's my explanation for that. That doesn't make it a good explanation, but that's my explanation. All right, but we are going to split this Panzer division. This is what I was looking at before the episode, and I'm going to move that. All right, let's look at this really quickly. He's only got 3 movement points. Unfortunately, he has a delay point. I'd love to scoot him back, but I can't. So we're going to take one part of this Panzer division and put it there. We obviously have to leave one part of it here, but I want to move the other part of it here because I feel like if he's going to break through, it would be right here. Oh, also, I want to move that infantry back. Um, Not that the cavalry will help a whole hell of a lot, but at least this would have to move, it's going to have to use movement points to get up to this very weak Jaeger division. That's the idea. That's the idea anyway. Is it a good idea? Well, I don't know, but we're going to find out. But now at least we have every hex covered down here. They're going to have to fight their way out. I would much prefer that to them just shooting a gap. Now we do have a gap here, and I would love to, as a matter of fact, let's move these headquarters up. What do we want to stack them with, though, is the question, I guess. I guess we'll stack. Nah, I'd rather stack him with part of a Panzer division. And then this guy, he's okay, but let's put him with the infantry there because this is, I mean, that's not strong when you got the Romanian cavalry out here. Is there anything else we can move? Because I am worried about this too. He's got a cavalry unit there. He could try to get here. Now we have some zone of control across here, including three. It's not three full divisions really. They're down to not quite half, but we've got some zone of control there. I think that lines up better. We'll see if we can degrade them down. And then next turn, we can maybe take this Panzer Division or this one and come down here, take this port, and they'll truly, truly be isolated at that point. Okay, moving around here, we can't move there. We just moved that guy. This unit could, I don't know, move over here. That might be a better idea potentially because they have to cross the river here. This cavalry can sneak through potentially. We could also split this infantry division. Now, it may get knocked around. Oh, we got to take the headquarters off of this so we can have 3 units in the hex. Sure. We'll put this back. Oh, shit. He's out of command. We've got to move this back over here then. Let's just stack him with a remnant of a panzer group. Let's split this. All right. And we can move one of them here. Now, that may get blown away. I get that. But they're going to have to expend movement points to do it. And I think that that potentially gets the pocket all set. We'll see. We'll see. I don't, who knows? We could also split this division, and I guess we're going to, um, and do it this way. And now we've got as much of it covered as I could possibly cover without just getting ridiculous. Um, Oh, interdicting the port. Yeah, we could do some kind of air power down there, right? We've done that before. We've done that at Odessa. We've done it at Sevastopol. Anthony's correct about that. Hey, bananas. All right, that always makes me smile. So yeah, we could. We could certainly try to hit that area and interdict the port there. Um, the problem is, what do I have down there? We should probably go look for that. What is it? It's Flieger Aussie, right? Um, which I now have nothing but recon units in. That got a little jumbled up. Let's go look at it though. We'll go look at it in just a minute before we turn the turn. All right, so this pocket, hell, I don't know. I mean, we've got it set up. We do need the port, but we've got it at least set up. D-Town, this is a little weak, honestly, to be holding such a major town. If we go to defensiveness, it's an X, but he's got a lot of divisions here and he can bring a lot more, but we're going to roll with it for a turn. Okay, as we move around, we could try to attack across the river, but I don't really think that makes sense. We could also bring this unit, which isn't adding a whole lot, right? I mean, it's 1,500 men. What is the TO? Oh, yeah, okay. Let's actually take this unit and put it back in Krivy Rogue. Um, Hold on. Let's put the rail back into Krivy Rogue. So we've got that as a super depot. He's right next to it. And let's take that unit and just go stack with that. Maybe that'll rebuild a little bit. That thing's looking rough. Let's refit that. I was going to bring it over here, but I don't think that makes a lot of sense when it's that weak. Okay, moving along. We've got the every other hex front. We've got some problems down here. I mean, he's got a lot of strength, including this tank division. Now, we could try to attack it, if I was feeling frisky. We've also got this Jaeger division. I guess I need to put this whole damn Jaeger division back together. As a matter of fact, where is so this is 128th. That's 228th. Where the hell is 328th? I've misplaced 328th. I'm going to have to look for it at some point. But I think it's not doing us. These guys just aren't strong enough to do anything. I think it's best. I'm going to get him over here. I'm going to put them all back together. Um, Now I'm wondering where he could be, though. That's the 5th Jaeger. Is he up here? Shit, I don't know. I just don't remember where that would be. Well, gosh darn it. Um, what kind of odds is it showing against the tank? It says 5.0 to 0.7. I don't think anyone believes that, but let's take a whack at it. Look at that. We did route that. Now, I was looking at that as being a tank core. I thought, surely that one's not correct. That must have been really low on freight or something. 17th Tank Corps. He even brought in a howitzer group here, a regiment. We had howitzers and mixed against that. Nice by Buenow, who brought the mixed, meaning he got anti-tank equipment in here. Now we also have a rifle core there, so we got to be mindful of that. But where every other hex, I'm going to leave them just as they sit for the moment. For the moment, this is our line down here. I am a little. This guy shouldn't be sitting out here all by himself. This guy, I don't know why he's all the way over here. Let's get him over here by his command. This is why I go around one last time. Um, that looks fine. We've got 6th Army back at Vinica. they could actually move up. Let's put them in. Oh, wait a minute. He's still got stuff back here. Let's undo that. Sorry. Uh, are these guys in command? 18 of 15. They are not. Maybe that's why I had him over here. Makes more sense. All right. But that division would be out of command. I'm going to let him try to pass the dice roll there. Meanwhile, we've got 30th Corps that's got nothing to do, not really. We've got 11th Army down here, who's very extended. Yikes. Let's move 11th Army somewhere. I mean, he's got units all the way up here, or corps all the way up here. He's probably going to go into Zytomir eventually. I mean, he's got stuff out here, but we don't have to worry about that as much. So let's put him 11th Army up in Zytomir. And then we'll take 6th Army. Venitza's not the worst place to have 6th Army, but it's got some stuff up here. How far away is that? 13 of 15. Okay, so this stuff's in command. That's fine. As we move around here, I mean, look, we could take a whack at some things, but I'm not sure there's anything that really stands out. I'll be curious to see if he can push in here. This hex is huge, right? Because we have these guys isolated technically right now, but we have an open hex that we can't get into. No matter what we try to get into it, I can't get into it. Um, Not even this motorized that has 18 movement points. It's got a lot of delay points sitting there, and it's a swamp. Okay, he's got a tank corps right there that you would think could push, but we've got a Panzer division, two Panzer divisions, and a decently strengthed ID out here. It's possible we will get all of this isolated this turn. It's a mini pocket, but it's a lot of stuff in here. That's a lot of men. So, plus a tank corps. Awesome. That'd be great. I think all of this, I had looked at this before we started here. I think all of this looks okay. I don't know. We got a lot of Hungarians and Italians that want to go wrestle some alligators out here, wrestling gators. Uh, what's up, Lucas? How are you? Lucas says tank cores only get decent in November of 42. I assume that's when the T-34s show up. Uh, it was embarrassing for them, but it was very. I mean, I was embarrassed for them certainly. Okay, so Hungarians on the move, Italians on the move. I don't think there's a whole lot back here. We looked at this several times over. The only other things I want to do here are we need to fly some freight out here if we can. We've got a double airport here, level 2 airport, whatever. 200 engines can get into this joint. Um, I wouldn't mind flying some freight out here just in case, because this whole logistical network's kind of a nightmare at this point. So the closer we can get out here, the better. We'll maybe try to fly some into Kiev as well. But these units out here are a little out in the middle of nowhere. So let's try to get some freight into them. Where's it trying to come out of? Proskorov. It's got 37,000 tons. Not bad. Minsk, Smolensk, Vitebsk. None of these really make sense. I'm always looking for Odessa, but it never wants to. Odessa's a little far away at this point, right? So let's bring it out of Proskorov. I always like to start with a single mission just to make sure we're not running into, the entire Soviet Air Force trying to get into this base. We weren't, and that's fine. That's all good. So let's do multiple missions out there. We'll launch those again. Wow, we're getting a lot in there. 171 tons. 138 tons. Now, the usual unit, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it uses about 30 to 40 tons a turn. I guess it depends. Are they on refit? Are they, all of these other things? But when it comes to supplying bullets, I think it's about 30 to 40 tons. We can go look at some point. Now we're starting to slow down. 22 tons. Now, some of these panzers are still out here. Hell, I don't know. Let's fly something into here if we can. What's this coming out of? Ovruch? No, let's try it out of Minsk. Does that work? Yeah, that works. Okay, cool. I'll just do multiple missions. The Soviets aren't running much air at this point. I think we've scared them off. Um, Can I have more of that? Thanks. Sorry, talking to the wife. Okay, okay. Let's fast forward through here. You get it. The freight's coming down there. Just try to fly the freight out to things in pockets, especially your armored or mobile divisions. All right, I think that's good. What am I for? I feel like I'm forgetting something. What could I be possibly forgetting? Let's just make sure. At this point, we played the game enough. You can kind of eyeball when something's a little out of place. Um, we got a lot of secondary rail units that are making their way around. That talk about being isolated. Thanks, dear. I appreciate it. I don't want to get parched. These golden vocal cords. Hey, CJ, thanks. The missing Jaeger division is around the Sea of Azov pocket. Okay, okay. Interesting. Let's go look for it really quickly. I know I'm ready to turn the turn too. You can tell I'm getting kind of. Oh, is this it? No, that's the 100th Jaeger. You can tell these Jaeger divisions because they've got the L there. I assume that's an L. I, I don't know. Is that part of the Germanic tongue? I have no idea, but it's got an L, so you can kind of pick out those Jaeger divisions. Is it over here? Yeah, nice. Thank you. Okay, so there it is. Now we've got it stacked in the weakest part of the pocket. But we'll take that over here. We'll put them all back together because they're not strong enough to do jack diddly by themselves. So yeah, we'll put that back together. All right, good find, my friend. Thank you very much. Um, oh hell, look, I think it's fine. Is there maybe one unit that if I combed over this with a monocle on, I could find that we need to do something else? Uh, Yeah, the Soviets' situation is quite dire. Well, here's what I think, Lucas, and I could be wrong. I mean, I've never been wrong during this game, right? L is for light. Look at you, Urzbek. I knew that. You know what? That makes a lot of sense, actually. Uh, yes. Oh, lect, light. Okay, got it, got it. Very nice. I'm no linguist, but that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. Oh, I was going to say to Lucas, I think Lucas is right. The Soviet situation, I think, is this. If we're getting close to parity, I only know this by just, common sense, I guess. If we're getting close to parity on men at this point, I mean, we're within 500,000 men, so it's not that far off parity. He's got an extra what? Uh, 50 divisions. Yeah, I mean, well, it's closer. It's closer than it was. But if we're that close, he can't have a whole lot sitting back in a secondary reserve line or something. I mean, most of it's got to be out on the front. Um, yeah, a light beer. Very nice. So I don't think that the Soviets could have a whole hell of a lot, just sitting back here waiting the way that we will do with XTRG, so that when he piles through, we'll just come behind, and we'll encircle the encirclers. I don't think the AI has a whole lot left back into these areas because if we're getting closer to parity anyway, most of his units have to be out here on the line, right? And we're not even accounting for the at least 2 or 300,000 that still have to be out here. And you're probably talking, I don't know, I don't want to venture to guess, but maybe 150,000 men that are in here. So yeah, I think once we bust through, when I bring Second Panzer Division up here and we do something else with them, whatever that may be, I'm not sure that they're going to be able to counter it other than taking units on the line and coming back. All right, let's turn the turn. Let's see what happens. We did want to move that air unit though. So let's put the air units on, and let's go to Flieger Aussie. Wasn't that right up here? Yeah, there it is. Do we have any bombers left in this thing, though? See, I messed that up. That was my fault. Don't do that. I got confused about exactly what that was, even though the word C is here. Um, and I took the dedicated bombers out of the C group, but we could do it with other bombers. All right, so let's think about where we have other bombers, and we're probably going to want to put them in what, this airfield or into Z Town, one of the two. I mean, this looks like a nice little shot out over the sea. Let's see if we have any bomber groups. Let's look at our air groups. No, we don't want that to be the AOG. See, this screen always screws me up because of this. Um, all right, let's go. Hold on. Bring the AOG in from the reserve. Could we do it with Romanian bombers? Probably. Let's go look at the reserves. Let's see what we have back there. All right. Transport, recon. We've got 3 level bombers. Wow, fantastic. We got a lot of tactical bombers back here. STG-2. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not sure how good the tactical bombers are at doing sea interdiction. I also don't know what the range is really. Let's look. Radius miles 290. So you're talking about 29 hexes. Well, that's plenty. STG2. I love their icon for STG2. Check it out. It's a little. Look at this puppy dog. That's really cute. All right. Um, hmm. It's cool how they have all the icons here. Um, can we do it with I just don't know enough about C interdiction. It's one of those things since I've just been playing the game and not reading about it all the time that I'm not sure. Wow, all the icons in STG2 are pretty cool. Uh, they all have a range of 290. Let's just bring STG2 on the map. I don't know if it's going to do anything, and I don't know if C interdiction is something that you would do with Stukas. Possibly. I mean, probably, right? I mean, dive bombers. Uh, yep, it's over, Anthony. Sorry you missed it. uh, yeah, Narvaline's just hanging out. I will probably have to do something in the north because they're going to build too strongly, right? Okay, let's get that off there. STG2, can I find it? That's the next question. Now, why is STG2 not on here? That's what I don't get about this sometimes. Schedule, or I say schedule because I see SCH, and as a lawyer, that's how we always, say a schedule is just SCH. I always say schedule when I see that. Um, all right, let's try this again. Stop. See, in the South, though, so I think those things went back into the reserves from the North. Oh, oh hell, I don't know. What's this? Fourth? No. This is the command that they would get when we bring them on the map. This is going to drive me nuts. And I didn't prepare for this before the episode. And so at some point, people are going to say, dude, just let it go. But that's hard for me to do. SC. It could be that, well, no, I don't know about that. From the reserves, can I just tell it to come back on the map? Oh, can't transfer just arrived air group. There you go. So we just got those. That was going to drive me nuts. Yeah, we can't transfer. Well, that's why they're pink. All right, all right. That should go into the tutorial. That's why they're pink is because you can't do anything with them this turn. So sorry if you were banging your head against the monitor there. Um, should have known that, but sometimes you just miss it. Okay, so back down here then. Where the heck am I? I got discombobulated. What we'll do is we'll do a directive next time, but we can't do a directive this time, right? For C interdiction, because our turn's already, the air turn is already up. I don't think there's any way to give it a directive at this point. Thinking, but there's no way to do a directive now. We can look at our directives. I can go click on something, but I don't think there's any way to do it because our directives have already been run. We already missed that opportunity. Let's put the error back out here for a second and just 100% make sure that's true. So there's Luflata 4. But see, we don't have the icon. We can't go to, bombing, naval interdiction, nothing like that. We'll have to do that next turn. Okay, turn the turn. I'm tired of thinking about it. Hold on. Let's back up. I'm not going to back up that far. Let's take the air units off. Let's back up, let's say here, zoom level. Okay, let's do it. I already looked at the depots. They all look fine. I mean, ultimately, we've got a lot of work to do with the depots as we retake territory, but for now, it's kind of still the same depots that we had before. Yeah, how about that map? Eventually, they're going to do the entire, all of World War II. I'm just guessing, but I think their next game will be War in the Pacific again, but it won't be the old War in the Pacific we know and love. It will be more like these games, and by these games I mean War in the East 2 and War in the West, and then I think they'll put them all together. Yeah, I like that bulge too, CJ, and I don't say that lightly. Uh, this bulge right here, I mean, that's another 20 or 25 divisions. At some point, though, we may have to come over here and help finally take Stelino. And then we're going to have Second Panzer get out and get something. I don't know what yet. But we'll see how it goes into Stelino. But Fourth Panzer over here may have to come over and help get some points. It's not ideal. He just took a depot from us, but I don't really know where that was. Oh, I think it was down by that southern pocket because he's pushing out to the west out of that pocket or trying to, but there's nowhere really to go other than to cut our rail. Yeah, I would love to see how they would do naval in this game as well. I mean, War in the Pacific is my favorite game ever. It's such a perfect, incredible game. Most people just don't have the patience for it, and I get that. I mean, that's the kind of game you dedicate 10,000 hours of your life to. But that being said, it's probably going to be a lot like War in the West, and they'll make War in the Pacific like War in the West. Maybe they'll do a War in the West 2 to bring it up to this standard, and then they'll put them all together. I don't know, but it's going to be incredible when they do it. I know a lot of people will bellyache about War in the Pacific being changed, diehards, but the fact of the matter is they're never going to make a sequel to that game with the same system. And I would just like a sequel to the game of any system, especially like this one. Would the air war piss some people off? Sure, it would. Um, Kirch is looking real dicey down there. Boy, you guys got that right. Okay, here come his front attacks, so I'll quit yapping for a minute. You start to see it blinking and the lines come out. It's like the show Stranger Things. It starts like woo woo. Where will the attacks come? Oh, okay. This is down by Z Town. Let's pause that really quickly. 50th Infantry got hit. 7, almost 8-1. Now, this was down here where we were just trying to fill in to keep him from connecting, right? 7.8 to 1. We actually, I mean, more than, we really held our own. 584 and 28 guns, 932, 18 and 22. We got the better of the Soviets there, even though they had almost an 8-1 advantage. We back up a little bit. We got to be careful here. We can't be so aggressive we lose Z-Town. That would be a real disaster at this point. All right, now he's hitting the other side of that pocket, and we just get scattered out of there. What was that? Ooh, ooh, that's hurtful. That was part of a Panzer division that we split. So when we split this, we sent 34 tanks over here. They got just obliterated. Now he brought in planes, 52. He lost 52 fighters. We lose 27 Panzers. Is it worth it? I think it is if we complete this, but hard to take a loss like that. 412, 111 on the men. Okay, moving on because I don't want to look at that again. Wow, we bust him there. 125th Infantry Division out here. It holds against what appears to be at least 4 Soviet divisions. They had 50,000 men. We had 14,000. They lose 12,078. We lose 265. He loses a further 20. Look at all those artillery pieces. That's a lot of artillery. Classical Soviet doctrine there, hit with 631 artillery before you advance, but we still ripped him up a little bit. All right, now that Panzer gets knocked. Whoa, we maybe shouldn't have split these. We lose another 20 Panzers there, and it looks like maybe he can get through. We'll see. We hold here up by D-Town. Not there, though. Now, that was not actually in D-Town. This is part of that infantry division that we split. We lose 194 men. He loses 193 on 14-1 odds. Hey, it's great to have German troops. But yeah, we're getting, hit here pretty hard. We've lost about 50 tanks trying to take this pocket, so we'll see if it actually even pays off. Okay, we get knocked back over here to the west of D-Town, but we put some losses on them, 3-1 in our favor. Now this is right across this river. So they've been attacking here over and over. This one division, 299th, has stood tall here forever. Now they're coming across the river, so it's a tough attack. 1228 to 214, we'll take that. 17 guns, 5 on the AFVs. And we hold. Now he's pushing cavalry out here, you saw. Okay, we get attacked by 3 Soviet divisions here. We put 2-1 losses on them, but we do retreat. And we get hit here. We retreat again. That time we got hurt. 1,000 men. That's probably the most we've lost in a very long time. 324. Now we were outnumbered 4-1. They also have 537 guns out here, and he had AFVs involved, so that must be a tank corps down in here. It's a rifle corps, and a tank brigade. And look at all of the support units in. Okay, that leads you to believe we should surround these guys. He's got some strength here. We put a hurting on him there. He loses 1,481 men. We lose 200. All right, we get attacked south of Kiev. 1.4-1. We don't take a step back and we put a bit of smack on him. 10 to 205 to 330. Okay. So 33-1 losses there in our favor. It looks like he got this hex. I don't know how, but it's showing. No, that's not true. He doesn't have it yet. Okay, well, we'll see. We got hit here into this pocket, but there's no way, there's no hope for them there. Okay, we get hit up here to the directly east of Minsk, where we started to push out with elements of Fourth Army and Second Army. 1.6 to 1, so it was close to, pushing us back, which takes 2 to 1, but we put 4 to 1 losses on him, including a nice loss of artillery pieces there. Southeast of Minsk here, this is part of Second Army. 684, 134, we'll take that. Okay, this guy was a little pushed out too far under von Nobelsdorf. Kind of an even battle, but we got pushed back. He's got a tank corps here. He lost 7 tanks, 149 men. We lost 50. Ernst is like, fall is coming. Give me my pumpkin spice latte. I've got my winter hat on. Okay, is that it? Surely not. Yeah, I was going to say. Okay, this is up by Valeki Luki. We got to be careful up here. Now, he barely gets that and actually sustained worse losses than we did. And he does again. And this will just give you an idea. The Soviets are bringing 45,000 troops here under Dalmatov, 669 artillery pieces. Okay, I mean, that's a lot. We've got 10,000 men and 150 guns, and we're just ripping them up. Hey, during the summer and fall, you could do that. 1134 to 344 there under Kirchner again. He's really pushing towards Valeki Luki. We may have to take a corps up here to help soon. And then they hold on again. Usually secondary attacks are not good for the attacker in this game. Always keep that in mind. You attack once. If it doesn't work the first time, it's probably not going to work the second time, and it'll only get worse. Wow. This is up near Pskov. You can see the 4 Soviet divisions here attacking into 86th Infantry under Valer. Valer gets his support units out. Excellent. 86th Infantry had a raw of 182, and it stayed raw. Awesome. 186 on the combat value. Oh, it hasn't. Interesting. It's not showing us an adjusted value. Sure, that's coming. What is this, like 12 or 13 to 1 losses? He lost a lot of guns. This is the real advantage for the Soviets, despite or besides just having a lot of men that they can run at you. 610 artillery pieces, 152 for the Germans. He also had almost 200 tanks in this battle, and we just tore him apart. We'll take that. There's the adjusted. Okay, so we went from 186 to 169. He did take our fort level down from a 3 to a 2. Okay. His adjusted was 221 to 56, though, because we had the terrain, we had the fort, all of those type advantages. And Valer's a very good general as well. So he'll very okay. We're getting hit out here. Look at that. The Romanians hold. As a matter of fact, they do this to a stalemate, even though they were outnumbered 21,000 to 13,000. They fight the Soviets to a stalemate. Now we're getting attacked back up here, and they hold again. Nice. Look at this guy. I mean, tell me you wouldn't look at this guy and say he's Romanian. He looks like he looks like the head of the Adams family. What is? Why do I forget that guy's name? Anyway, he's he's definitely Romanian. I love it. 640, 660, straight out of Transylvania. Sinetescu. Okay, 1.7 to 1. The Romanians hold again. Unbelievable. 3 straight battles up here they hold, and that's it. That's the end of the attacks. Excellent. Uh, oh, you're thinking of a Soviet encirclement. I see what you're saying, Anthony. Yeah, there's some issues up there. We're definitely going to have to go take another look at that. It's a very thin pocket. We did lose like 50 panzers trying to make this pocket. Not sure if that was worth it. Uh, Mr. AMMW says as a Romanian he can confirm. Yeah, I was like, wow, he really looks what I picture Romanian. Hey, listen, I have no idea what Romanians really look like, but I can only go by American popular culture. Anyway, all right, no, not Uncle Fester. It's the dad. The dad. What's his name? Um, Morticia is the mom. Gomez. Gomez. Thank you. I knew you would come through with it, Anthony. That guy totally looks like Gomez. Uh, hey, what's up, Jan? How you doing? Okay, they're just flying freight now, so let's get through that. And it's on to our logistics phase. Doo, 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 doo. It's August 16th, 1942. It's turn 61 of this game, if you can believe that. That'll make you feel old. Looks like we've got Soviets moving right here south of Pskov by Ninth Army. I think it's time to take one of these corps and put them up here. Look, if we're going to make any kind of push on Rezhev, we probably need more up here anyway. Again, it's just to get the points. It's not because I think strategically this is the best place to go, but we've got 10 points that we have to get somewhere. That's assuming we get Stalino. So, we got to try to get up here and get that. That's assuming we get Stalino and we can't take Krasnodar, which is looking very, very shaky at this point. So Rezhev may be the 10 points we have to get. We could potentially push out towards Orel because I'm bringing Second Panzer up here to do an encirclement here. We get Fourth Army moving out from Smolensk. It's possible we could get there, but now, I mean, we're down to 7 turns. 6 or 7. Let's call it 6, just so we have a little more urgency. Okay, it's truly August 16th now. And let's go through the step. Well, let's go to the breaking news. Oh, wait a minute. That's not my news sound. I'm not going to do the news sound. All right. Soviet partisans. So get off the turn report. Get off there. All right. Partisans become active. Okay, same old one. Second Moscow Conference between the major allies of WW2 took place from August 12th through the 17th. Churchill, Harriman, Uncle Joe was there at the Kremlin. They discussed grand strategy, North Africa, landing and opening a second front. Haha, Joe, the joke's on you. We're not going to do that for a while. For several months, Stalin had been urgently requesting an invasion of France. Blah blah. You guys get it. It's the history of World War II. All right, let's look at the turn report. First of all, did we get anything in? We know that we did not, except some support units: Mixed Flak, Stug, Siege Mortar. Look, I hope we start sieging something. That'd be great. Last turn, we lost 37,687 men, 585 guns, and 96 AFVs. We also lost 163 aircraft. On the map, we did replace 24,000 of those lost troops, leading to a net negative 13,000. We lost a lot of guns. We didn't replace any of our lost guns. Where are the folk? Get busy. I mean, looking back here at you, Germany, let's go. 585. We did lose 96 AFVs from losses, but we add back what must be, I'm no mathematician, but 123 AFVs got added back. So we actually gain on the map this time. And we only lose 48 planes. So we add about 120 planes back onto the map. Theater boxes are building up. The Soviets lost 37,000 troops on the map this time, 359 guns. They actually did better than us this time. I guarantee you we destroyed almost like 3,000 guns. So they also gained 236 AFVs. Now that could be as small as a tank corps, but probably 2 or 3 tank corps. The way that they've been allocating tanks, it seems like most of the tank corps have about 100 tanks in them at this point. They also add back 54 planes. Okay. The amount of trucks in the units, that's probably about as good as we've seen. 289,000. We need, according to the game, 311,000 in our units. We actually have a lot sitting back at depots. You can kind of add these two together, right? When they're at the depot, they're going to go back to the unit. It kind of just depends at the end of the logistics phase where they're sitting. In the pool, we've only got 10,000 trucks and 111,000 under repair. That's pretty crazy. Okay, we've got a deficit or a tons differential of 47,000 tons. Now that includes men or reinforcements, that includes ammunition and guns, and that includes supply. On supply, we're down about 19,000 tons. Again, I mean, part of that's, we've got pockets that we're trying to form. So it's very hard. Oh, they did break through. Did they break through? Why? They're not showing as isolated. Where did they get through, though? Not there. Hold on. Do I have. Oh, duh, 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 duh. I'm sorry. They're not isolated. Oh, they gave up the port. Perfect. They're not showing as isolated because we don't have this port, but we do have the pocket intact, even though these units got absolutely blistered out here. But we should be able to move things over and complete this and run down and get the port. Okay, back to where we were though. We do have a freight deficit. We are making pockets, but we also our logistical network, especially up into Kiev, is not very good. Oh, hey, we did complete this sort of. Hold on. Yeah, they are isolated. Look at that. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. Eight divisions. Well, that's not true. Seven divisions and at least one corps, a tank corps out here. So awesome. 139 under strength, 24 unready, one depleted. We still sit on 520 points. We've got to really hope we don't take a negative point from the news events like the Western garrison needs more troops, we get -1, because then even if we take Stelino and let's say Rezhev, we lose the initiative. So we've got to just think points right now. All right, let's go to our info screens. Let's look at overall losses. We lost 37,000 men last turn, 585 on the guns, 96 AFVs. We're now pushing 2.3 million losses. Unbelievable numbers, right? The Germans, over 900,000 men killed now, and a lot of disabled Germans. One on nearly 1.3 million disabled. Soviet losses, 191,000 last turn. That's probably the lowest we've had in a while. Part of that is just we haven't completely constricted the pocket yet. Now we've got another pocket, potentially a third pocket. We'll see. 191, Soviets nearly 7.6. I would love for this to be 9 million going into the winter. Into the winter. Now, Nord says we can attack during the winter in 42. We'll see. I'm not gonna. You know me. I'm a little conservative, but we'll see. Guns, 117,000 guns destroyed, 30,000 AFVs. We're running about 5 to 1, a little over 5 to 1, right? Um, nearly 2.3 million men killed, 3.2 million captured, and 2 million disabled. The air losses look like 26,000 to 6,000. I like the ground bombing, certainly. Let's go to the graphs for the visual people. Manpower losses. Like I said, a little bit lower than it's been. 236, 272, 211. I guess 2 turns ago, it did take a dip when we were really setting up the pocket. It spiked to over 300,000 last turn. Nearly 200,000. We'll take it. We'll take it. All right. Gun losses still huge, almost 3,000 guns, and the damn Soviets added guns back on the map. A net positive, even though we destroyed almost 3,000 artillery. 486. Okay, we've stayed very consistent. We had the one turn where we were trying to. This is where we were really trying to bust out into the pocket or make the pocket. 262. we're staying around 100. We dipped to 50, up to 104, so on and so forth. Aircraft losses, again, he's way higher. We've stayed very consistent since we went to just ground support. Um, Now then, let's look at Mapman. How are we doing? Okay, still bringing it down. 4.62. Ours is now starting to kind of bow down here a little bit too. 3.9, 4.6. We're about 700,000 men behind, but we've got two, potentially three pockets that could bring that closer. All right, map guns. We have really cut into that. I mean, we've just been destroying a ton of artillery, 50,000 to 37,000, let's call it. AFVs, this has stayed really consistent no matter what we've done. He's added back again 6.1, 3.2. That's a huge disadvantage. We've got to try to get more tank cores surrounded, whatnot, because eventually this is what really gets you. You've got those big, massive tank cores running around like the Death Star, just, destroying units right and left. And so we got to try to get around them. Map aircraft, getting there, getting there. I mean, he's got 400 more aircraft on the map than we do. Let's look at manpower. The pool, we did draw him down a little bit again. We've stayed, we've been rising a little bit here. We have 489,000 men in our pool. The Soviets have 176,000. So we talk about being 700,000 troops down, but in the reinforcement pool, we're plus 300,000. So, we're about 400,000 men down uh, total of what could be on the map or what we're fighting with anyway. The armaments pool, oh, we cut into that a little bit. As you can see, we've ramped up production, obviously, but there's no catching the Soviets when it comes to that. Let's go look at the weather. I'm your friendly meteorologist. This is not a toupee. Weather on the ground. We've got some mud back in Germany. Doesn't affect us. Sorry, folks. We'll hear about it in our letters to the front this week. Um, there's rain out here in Germany. That causes mud. Again, I'm no meteorologist, but I know that much. There's still rain over Central Europe uh, at the end of the turn, and some is creeping up into the Nordic countries, northern Soviet Union up here. All right, so it looks like we're going to have a dry map until the real rain starts. Man, I'm really happy about this. I thought maybe he could push there, but now we've got some really nice units isolated here. That's great. We've still got this, who knows? I don't know what's still out here, but we're going to be busting ass east as fast as we can, at least with the Germans, and we'll leave the Italians and the nope, Hungarians. I almost did it again. The Hungarians back here to try to clean that up. Over here, it's not in isolation because they still have the port. This doesn't look great. I don't like this right now, but they should, and you can see a lot of red out here. A lot of these units should be really low on getting freight. Now, these two aren't. We don't know what this is. We may run recon to figure out what some of this stuff is. Red and red, so they're low on freight. Now, we did take some losses here. I don't like that, but we can move some more stuff over now and maybe cover some of this with infantry because the remaining cavalry is never going to hold. I think we know that. Um, I'm going to call this an episode. I will probably record an episode where I do the air stuff. I'm going to go look at the naval interdiction. Um, we'll run naval interdiction just for you guys. It's probably a good idea too, but just for fun, we'll run some naval interdiction into that port, even though they abandoned it for seemingly no reason. Um, And what else? Well, we'll look at logistics. I'll just make like a 30-minute recording. We'll look at the air. We'll look at logistics. We'll make sure everything looks good for command, that kind of stuff. All the usual kind of stuff like that. We'll see what needs to be on refit. And then tomorrow, 10 a.m. Pacific Coast time, we will get going on another turn because I'm ready. I'm ready. And now that we're not trying to construct the pocket, we should be able to get through half of the movement phase per episode. Because my hamster, it can only run so fast. So when we're making pockets, it takes a little bit longer. But anyway, thank you guys so much for joining me. Have a wonderful start to your weekend. Thank you for all the donations to the Monocle Fund. The monocle is coming. The wife, I said, is picking it out. She's got much better taste than I do. As I'm sure you're all aware. You're like, does this guy own anything but gray or black? No, I don't. And so I put my wife in charge of such things. Anyway, I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Have a wonderful evening. Thanks as always. This is a blast. It always is. Great